Hey, it's the Rooster, Bobby Leach, SouthwestSportsNet.com, and I know we talk about prep football, and I know we talk about college football, and why? Because we know that college coaches are out there watching us, college football players are watching us, prep football players are out there watching us, moms, dads, fans, the whole bit. But today, I want to talk a little bit about the benchmark in football. And the benchmark team in my book, at 45 years old, the benchmark team for me, the 1985 Super Bowl winning Chicago Bears. They are the benchmark. They're the guys that said it. They're the guys that will always have it. I don't think we've ever seen a team better than they are. They were mean. They were big. They were scary. They were fun. They were happy. They were all the things and all the emotions that you can squeeze into one football game. They brought that to the game every week, baby. Every single week, you could see the Bears out there, and it made you a fan. If you weren't a fan of football, you were a fan after that season. Guys like Walter Payton, what a class act. I mean, one of the best pure running backs, one of the best athletes of all time, right here in Chicago. Chicago greats. And, guys like Dan Hampton and Richard Dent and, McMahon and all the great stuff that you saw in the Chicago Bears. Mike Ditka, Buddy Ryan, and just list goes on and on and on. Mike Singletary, Gary Fensick, Kevin Butler. I mean, just all these names just floating around in your head. If you're a Bears fan, you carry them with you to the grave. And there's one Bear that I can tell you that I got to personally meet, and he's just a regular guy, just a regular guy. He's a guy that was All-American in college, was probably All-State in high school. I don't know. I didn't ask him. All-Pro in the NFL. Scary guy, very intelligent. Practically ran the Chicago Bear defense. He was the smartest guy in the field at any given time. And to back it up with those brains, he had the skill to put the smackdown on any quarterback, on any running back. Guy was a monster, and that was Steve Mongo McMichael. And that's a capital M for some of you. He also, by the way, incidentally, as a side note, and I don't know if it was a side note, but let's just say that incidentally, he was also a pro wrestler. That's right, pro wrestler. And if you Google him and you see him on YouTube, you'll see that Steve McMichael was a pretty successful wrestler. He's been successful at everything he's ever done in his life. Anything that guy touches is gold. And the reason why is because he believes. He believes and he works at it, and he had a lot of good advice. We got to sit down. I went to his restaurant, and as many of you know, if you take a look down on our website here, you can see that Mongo McMichael is a sponsor of the Sports Nest, and his restaurant is phenomenal. It's great food, by the way. Bears games are going Sunday football over there, Saturday night football, whatever, Monday night football. I mean, it's phenomenal, and he's there, and we get to meet him. So we stopped over there, me and Big Tone, one night, and we got a great interview with Steve McMichael. We want to share that interview with you for a couple of reasons. The wisdom that comes from a man who has seen greatness and probably seen his share of failures, like all of us have. But that wisdom needs to be shared, and I hope if you're a football player out there, if you're an athlete out there, you're just a fan. I think that what he brings to the table and what he has to say about the sport and life in general is extremely interesting. And so we want to bring this to you, folks, as a special report, only here on the Sports Nest. Here's our interview with Steve Mongo McMichael, the 1985 Super Bowl winning Chicago Bear. Well, you played in Texas in high school. Talk a little bit about how...
Friday Night Lights.
Talk a little bit about that.
The story, baby. Leaving the little district rivalry towns, we know to get in the floor of the bus because leaving the town rocks were coming through the window. And I swear bullets sometimes. But yeah, it's a pageant down there.
Did you enjoy high school? If you looked at your career, looking at high school, college, pro, where did you have the most fun? I mean, absolute fun.
This one no kid should ever want to grow up. You get in your teens, I'm a grown man now. Why? That's when the responsibilities are going to keep you right in the boo-boo, baby, when you get up and get in the real world. Stay a kid with, you got nothing to worry about but a sport or school if you're interested in that. Your parents are taking care of the room and board, right?
Right.
Man, who don't want to stay a kid forever like that without the real world? That's what everybody tries to get a pension for, so they can sit around like they were an adolescent again. Beautiful. But what it takes the grind it takes to be good at any sport. You can't do it by yourself. You have to have a support group. That's what Hillary Clinton meant. It takes a village. You know, you're going to only be as good playing that sport as your coach is and what he can put together and game plan to let you succeed. Because I can tell you from firsthand experience, no one guy ever won a team sport event. If you're the only one out there, the other team knows it, and they will take care of you, and they will win. You got to have a village, baby. That's teammates, that's coaches, that's family and friends helping you micromanage your life. So all you got to do is worry about that, and that's how you get good at it.
You know, if when you got to the NFL, was there a sense of accomplishment there, or did you just play the game because you enjoy playing the game? I mean, a lot of guys say that, you know, the quest is to make it to the NFL, and then they get there and they don't do anything because they had already achieved what they wanted.
Any kid that's still in high school thinks, well, hell with school, I'm going to play pro football. Think again. You're a 1%er. Hedge your bet. If you've been given the gift of athletic ability, that means you can retain knowledge and transfer it on the field in making a play because you have seen it before, you've seen it done. So I can go out there and do that. That means you can succeed in the classroom. That's retention. So don't tell me you can't do it. The motivation of this is be the best person you can be at whatever you choose to do, or why are you doing it? In other words, in your mind, you've already done that. Not, I think I can do it, or I'm going to try to do it. I've already done that. Watch me do it again.
You know, what do you take away from your parents? I mean, what, you know, your father, your mom, you know, what's the one thing you take away out of your childhood growing up that helped you later on in life? Because a lot of kids shut their parents down, especially when they hit that late teens. You know,
I know how they shut them down. Those parents in the stands that want to fight the coach because their kid ain't playing.
Right.
That private coach a son has because that dad is trying to live out some failed glory. Please let that kid do what he wants to do because that is the only way he's going to fall in love with it. The minute you start pushing somebody at something is the minute they start resenting it. Just let them go. If that's what they want to do, all you can do is be in a support group. And maybe he'll be good enough for you to brag about and say, that's my son.
You know, talk a little bit about your football career. What is there one in particular play that sticks out that either a successful play or an unsuccessful play that just eats at you to this day?
Oh, there's a handful of plays that eat at a true warrior in his life. You know, hardly ever made a mental mistake. Hardly ever got out of position and got run over. But there was a handful of times in my football career that it happened. And they're the first ones on my mind when I think about my football career. So be careful what you wish for, because it's your failures you're going to remember. Because victory is a short stay at the top of the mountain, because you see other mountaintops you want to climb. If you're that kind of person, really at the top of the mountain, you've already conceded you got that. I'm going to get there. I'm not going to try to get there. I'm going to get there. So you're already there, in other words.
Walter Payton. I have to ask this question because, you know, personally, I think he's one of the most admirable, you know, one of the football players I think I've admired most at lifetime. What was it like playing with him? You know, was he really the type of person that fans believed him to be?
Yes. Yes, he was. He was all things to everybody. You know, he was a chameleon of a man. Everything, because people like different types of people. You know, their personality or whatever, you gravitate to somebody like you. Mm-hmm. He related to everybody. It was unbelievable. He would have been a great politician. I related to him, the big brother I'd always wanted in my life. That's who he was to me.
And, when he passed, how difficult was that for you? And tragically, there have been a few passings lately.
The first thing that came to mind when I heard he had died is that old axiom, the good die young. Good people are gone too fast, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't care if they died 100. If that was a good person, they're going to be missed.
Yeah. I guess my last question would be, if you could do anything now, with all the knowledge that you've gotten, both, academically, you're an excellent student, you had a great college career, you got a degree, you did all these things, but if you could give back.
No, I didn't get a degree.
Oh, you did not get a degree?
No, you see this scar here?
Yeah.
I played 2 years on a bucket handle tear in the meniscus on this side of the cartilage. And then the last year, that last fall I played, my senior year, made All-American every game. It would blow up 100 cc's of fluid. I'd have to get it drained on Friday to play on Saturday. I went that fall semester, but man, what a grind. And when you're drafted, that's only a couple of months after Christmas vacation in college, and then you're going back to the spring semester. I was in a cast, fixing to be drafted, and training camp had started. So I didn't go back to college that spring semester. I got my leg ready to play pro football. Then after playing, starting to play pro football, and the money was coming in, I didn't ever go back. But it was easy. All you got to do is go to class and pay attention, and that's going to be on the test. Everybody thinks they're going to get it out of a book. All you got to do is go to that teacher or professor's class every day and listen to them and write down notes of what they said. That's going to be on the test.
I mean, obviously you love football. When did you know? When did you really know, like, this is what I want to do? What
my
was
livelihood was going to be football.
Well, not just football.
After my sophomore year in college, I was at my sophomore year, played pretty good, made all conference, and they were telling me you're going to be an All-American and drafted. And that's when the attitude, school, and then sports became the other way around.
And
I got my master's in football. How's that?
When you first put on that Super Bowl ring, what was it like?
It was kind of a drunken fest.
Really?
Yeah, they gave it to him the day training camp started the next year. We're all back together for the first time that night. So, and the boys.
Right.
Yeah. I think Mike Ditka passed out in his suit that night.
Do you still talk to Ditka?
Oh, you love him.
He's never going to change.
No.
He's always the.
In my mind, an old man deserves to be a crusty old fart baby. He earned the right to be crusty. That's beautiful to me. I laugh. He makes me laugh. Most people, he makes me laugh.
And what about the Buddy Ryan, feud that they used to have? I guess on the sidelines, people said there was a feud between the two coaches. Did you ever sense it on the field?
The angst was about Buddy Ryan wanted to be the head coach of the Bears. He was the defensive coordinator here. Then Hallis kept as the defensive coordinator when he hired Ditka as the head coach. Buddy Ryan wanted the head coach's job, and he gave it to Ditka. There's going to be a problem.
Right. Was there ever sides picked though amongst the teammates?
You know what? Those two old men, they might have been crusty old farts, but they were intelligent crusty old farts. They made it work, didn't they? Made it work. They won a Super Bowl. After Ditka went to New Orleans and Buddy went to Philly and Phoenix. Did they ever win a Super Bowl again apart? No.
Friday Night Football starts in this area on August 21st. Third Friday in August. this is a time of year where kids are getting excited about playing football again.
They better be.
What do you remember about it, and what do you have to say to all the players in our area of the 41 high schools that we cover?
This time of year, I'd be down in Texas in 100-degree heat. We live 2 miles out of town in an all camp. My father was an all-field land manager, which is the last part of this story, what I do the whole day. We live 2 miles out of town. I'd get up at 5 in the morning and run into town, lift weights at the gym, at the school, run back 2 miles out to the all camp and put my all-field working clothes on and go work at the all fields for the rest of the day. Because I had to play every down in 2A football and the Friday Night Lights down in Texas. I never came off the field. You better be in supreme shape. And I was. This is some information I got for you young guys out there. The guy that's out there working like that, and you're not, you're sitting on the couch playing video games, thinking, well, when football starts, in training camp, I'll get in shape and I'll play football. You're already behind the 8 ball. Because if there's a guy out there working that hard and you got to face him, who you think's going to win? Him or you?
Been a production of SouthwestSportsNest.com, home of the playmakers and game changers. Remember, do your best. Get on the nest.